Instead of being all at the back, devotees is a goshti, you should always be at the front. The Shastras say if you leave any space in between the satsang, Maya comes and sits down there. It's a blessing given by Lord Ramchandra. When the wife of Kumbhakarna, after the death of Kumbhakarna, what had happened was the wife of Kumbhakarna went to Lord Ram and said, "You have killed my husband. Now I become orphan. What is going to be my life?" So then Lord Ram said that I can give you a blessings that you can be in the best areas. So best areas are where there are satsang going on. So immediately, what was her name? The name of Kumbhakarna's wife was Nidra Devi. Nidra Devi. Okay, Nidra Devi. So you can have all the blessing wherever there is satsang. If there is gap in between, you can just go and sit down and make everyone sleep there. Because your husband always was fond of sleeping. So that will remind you of your husband. So if you leave any space in between and just be at the back, Nidra Devi will come in the center and make us all sleep. So better just be together in the association of the devotees. Hare Krishna. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, no problem. Brindavan. Brindavan. Welcome. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. No, I don't work. I'm actually a full-time Brahmin, and I help to run a temple in Phoenix. I stay in the temple, and top of that, I serve the need of everyone. I'm like a Brahmin. I do all types of yajnas that are needed. I go to different temples to install the deities and those type of things that I do, and I just be in the temple and see what the temple needs from me. In this way, I teach Bhakti Shastri course in Phoenix right now. In fact, in 2003, I started a Bhakti Shastri class in Tobacco because I stayed here for 8 years. After that, I went to the Phoenix temple. So then I'm teaching there now. So once a year, I actually make 1 week of trip here because I know so many people in Edison area. So those people who had a direct relationship with me, not through a temple, but rather as a person, so they always say, "No, Prabhu, you need to come." So in fact, I just did the 4 programs today before I came to this one. So some were teaching, some were satsang, some were. So this is my fifth program for today. So and I am very fortunate to be with you now. Are Grihastha. I'm married. Yes, I have one daughter. She is 21 months. I have a very good voice, so not a problem. Okay. Oh, okay, no problem. So we just chant the prayers. Oma Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakayah Chakshurum Viditam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागना रघुनाथन्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सागना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं स हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते Hare Krishna. So we'll be discussing from Nectar of Instruction. Srila Prabhupada wrote the principal books that are to be studied by every devotees who are aspiring to be in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. We are known as the Gaudiya Sampradaya, who are the followers of Rupa Goswami. So Gaudiya Sampradaya means related to Gauda Desh. Gauda Desh is actually a country of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are the generations after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we inherit the teachings given by Rupa Goswami, who was directly advised by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach this message. So of those four books, we have Nectar of Instruction, which is the first book that we must know very thoroughly. Then we go to Ishopanishad, then we go to Bhagavad Gita, then we go to Nectar of Devotion. So today I thought I'll just go through a Nectar of Instruction, which is related to the previous verse that you did in Bhagavad Gita. There Krishna was talking about why material sense pleasures are useless. Because the fifth chapter, after describing about the knowledge in the fourth chapter, then in the fifth chapter, Krishna talks about a renunciation. During that time, he talks that everyone should be renounced from the desire to enjoy the sense gratification, because such pleasures have beginning and the end. So if anybody is intelligent, one must come out from the furious wheel, as we call it charkha. This material existence is like a charkha, that it goes up, comes down. Sometimes people are bewildered because they are coming down, and sometimes people are bewildered going up. But in both of the situation, it is going to go round and round and round. So unless you give up this desire to enjoy sense gratification, you will be stuck into this material world. Now in Nectar of Instruction, what is being discussed is what are the things that we must know if we want to be successful in being detached to the sense gratification. So the first verse talks about that, something that we need to be very careful of. And how can you be a teacher of devotional service? How can you preach this message? We are all as a preachers here. We are training ourselves to become preachers, so we can make the life of somebody else successful. The path of bhakti that we are on, it is called a Goshti Anandis. the groups of devotees who go out approaching people and preaching. So therefore, that is the purpose of Bhakti Vriksha we have today. So we can involve more people into this sign. Now, the rule of this game, this is like a game, devotional service game that we play. The rule of this game is you cannot hold, just like in a football, the American football that people play. If you hold the ball in your hand, it's foul. You are out of the game. So in this track that we are walking on, if we get a knowledge and we hold it to ourselves, means we are out of the game. It must be distributed. So then there are certain qualifications that a distributor has to acquire. So that is being spoken by the first verse of Nectar of Instruction. So you have the translation with you, and I can just chant the Sanskrit. You can repeat after me. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam. Jiva vegam udaro apasta vegam. Etan veganyo vishayita dhira. Vishayeta dhira. Sarvamapi mam prithivim sasishyat. Once more. Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam. Jiva vegam udaro apasta vegam. Etan veganyo vishayita dhira. Sarvamapi mam prithivim sasishyat. Read the translation.
A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples follow foremost.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So every one of us are gurus. Just like the Shastra says, Guru nasasyat, Swajani nasasyat, Pito nasasyat, Mitra nasasyat. Don't be a father or a mother if you cannot deliver your dependents. First principle. So therefore delivering is the duty of a Guru. So therefore it is not only to a sannyasi who carries the danda this rule applies. Everyone who feel that I can be a leader. Parents are leaders to the children, isn't it? So therefore they are gurus for children. So the instruction that is given here is meant for every one of us. First point, it starts is with bacho. Bacho, the activity of tongue comes twice here. Bacho vegam manasa krodha vegam and jiva vegam. Jiva also refers to the tongue. So in first level, bacho refers to the speech. In a third position, the bacho refers to the tongue in the form of taste. Now, comparing. Let's look into your life. Based in the body we have. Some of us, the weight of the body is 160 pounds. For some is 170. Some 180, maybe 200, maybe 140, 150, whatever it may be. Now compared to the entire body, what is the size of the tongue? 300 grams? Yes, 300 grams. So why is nectar of instruction attacking the most smallest part of our body? Why not a bigger picture? Because that's the most important. Most important. Now you can serve somebody for 50 years very nicely. A wife can serve a husband for 50 years, or a husband can selflessly serve a wife for 50 years. But after that service for 50 years, he makes one mistake with his tongue. Entire 50 years is destroyed. Okay. Now we normally understand that in order to do big work, you need to have a big size. Only a big thing can do a big work. But the Shastras say, no, the smallest things can do the biggest work. So the tongue is very small compared to the body, but does very big work. Okay. So therefore, the first principle he talks is Bacho Vegam, look into your speech. Spiritual path, same thing. Material path, same thing. If you want a happy family life, watch out to your speech. If not, everything can be ruined. The speech is like a poisonous snake. It knows how to throw the venom, the poison. But once it throws, it kills the person. If you look at the duty of a tongue, same thing the Shastras say. You just have to chant the holy name of the Lord once very purely, your life is successful. And you make one blunder, one mistake, it goes opposite way also. So therefore, first principle in devotional life is Bacho. Now the nature of everyone, especially I see this in India because I stayed in India very much. If there is any problem, everyone wants to have an opportunity to speak. Either it's a small battle in the street or is it a problem in the house, I should have a right to say something here. Everyone wants a right of speech. Even if he has no connection with the problem itself. So this is human nature. Always looking for an opportunity to speak. Most of the time, criticism. Krishna says, Sato Naiskriti Golasha. Criticism, fault finding, enviness. These are the first thing we do. How somebody was wrong. If not that, almost we speak nonsense all day. No connection to our life, no benefits to our life, but speak, speak and speak. The Shastras say that a useless talks, if it has no connection to the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the talks are like a croaking of the frogs. Have you ever heard the croaking of the frogs? Now, what does it mean when the frogs croak together? What does it mean? Attracting the snakes. Okay, snakes have very high power of hearing. They can hear them. Okay, wherever they are croaking. So the Shastra say they are simply saying, "Oh Bhayaji, I am here. Please come and eat me." It attracts them towards their death. Okay, attracting a death. So the Shastras say, if we discuss any matters that are not connected to the devotional service, we are simply calling death to ourselves. According to Puranas, it explains that every one of us have a number of breaths to take as we are living. So once those numbers are complete, then we go. It's a count of a breath it goes with. So the more you run, faster you breathe. The more you talk, the faster you breathe. Isn't it? So therefore Krishna says gravity, if you want to live long. Yes. Now anytime we use our breath in glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you gain life. So therefore the Shastra says just like the croaking of the frogs means attracting the snake. Snake comes and swallows the frog. But this swallowing process is very smooth. The Shastras say that as the frog is being swallowed by the snake, the frog does not even realize that I am already in the mouth of a snake now. Up to the last point, the snake is raising the hand in order to swallow the frog. And the frog sees an insect on the top. And he still thinks, okay, that's my food. He's already food of somebody here. But he's still after sense gratification, not realizing. So Shastras say, those people who are not attracted by the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and simply waste their time discussing the topics that attracts the death may be right at their door, knocking the door saying, Prabhu, I am here to get you. You want to come? No option. You cannot run anywhere because you are being surrounded by all directions. Too many snakes together. So therefore, the first principle it has been spoken is, in a spiritual path, gravity, and even if you talk of anything, It's supposed to be Nihayat Karma Dharmaya Nabairagya Kalpate. Srimad Bhagavatam is explaining that if any religious practice, Nihayat Karma Dharmaya, that does not develop a detachment from sense gratification, any dharmas that we may follow, but if it does not develop a detachment from sense gratification, then every dharma are wasteful. Every dharmas are meant for detachment. Nihayat Karma Dharmaya Navairagya Kalpate. Now if vairagya, renunciation, does not lead to tirthapada, visiting the holy places, going to the temple, associating with the devotees, if vairagya, ultimately what we do in Indian culture, we see this. What are you doing? Today is Hanumanji's Brata, I'm Monday fasting. So what do you do whole day? I sit down in front of the TV. Well, the vairagya is there. But what did vairagya lead to? The TV and the movie. Vairagya, rules and regulation, tapasya means it must lead to the attraction towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the purpose of Vratam. But people forget that. Vrata means just a khali pet, empty stomach. Then sit down, watch a TV, so you pass your time. Now what is the purpose of all this Vrata then? So therefore Srimad Bhagavatam says, Nihayat Karma Dharmaya Navairagya Kalpate Natirtha Pada Sevayam. If vairagya does not lead to the devotional service unto the devotees of the Lord, Natirtha Pada Sevayam, Jivan Apya. And if going to tirthas, you are going to tirthas like a monkey, just jumping around, oh, Radha Kund is so nice, I can take so many photos here. Kusum Sarovar is so nice, I can take so many photos. Going to tirtha means you are there to serve the devotees. It says this total waste of time. So, therefore, our acharyas say, first thing that we must do is control the speech. In this regard, I will just tell you one story. How many of you know the two personalities, Akbar and Birbal? Raise your hand if you know. You might have read in Tinkle and Tintin so many places that you can get it. So there is a story that comes out. Once this king and the ministers, they are walking together. So the king is asking minister, what do you think the most important thing in this world is? What do you think? So the minister says, Maharaj, you are the king. I can give the answer that I think is right. But you as a king should give the first answer. What do you think is the best? And he says, Birbalji, we are Kshatriyas. Kshatriyan is the spirit to fight the battle. And spirit comes from good food. So I will say that good food is the most important. So then minister says, I disagree with you, Maharaj. He says, what? Can you prove that there is anything better than this? He says, yes, speech is better. The most important thing is speech. So anybody that wants to be successful in this world must control the speech. He says, no, I disagree with you. What is this speech? He says, okay, do one thing. You send your sister tomorrow to my place. Okay? Then I'll prove you that speech is the most important. So then the sister of the king goes to see the minister, and the minister makes all 64 items, varieties of food, serves to the sister, and he's asking, Penji, how is it? How is the food? How is the prasadam? So, very nice. I have never eaten something like this with my brother ever. So good. Eat more. I have cooked so much for you. Aage khao na. It's very nice. He said, nahi, bahut theek hai. Then he goes, khao na khao, tumhara baap ka kya jata hai? So immediately, your father did not pay for anything, your brother did not pay for anything, it's all my expense. So eat more. Khao. So he said, kya? What did you say? So then, out of anger, she rushed back to the palace. And she goes to the brother and, Bhaiya, I want this man to be hanged tomorrow. Right? I want him to be hanged. Then the king is asking, what happened, Benji? What is the problem? He says, don't ask me what is the problem. The problem is such that I don't want to tell you. Then he says, okay, if you think that it is so bad that you don't want to tell me, I'm not going to ask you now. And he says, okay, call the minister now. So minister next day he's supposed to be hanged. Phansi. Then minister says, my dear Lord, I agree with your punishment, as you are going to hang me, but at least let me know my offense now. I have to die. Is it not fair that I know why I'm dying for, at least before I die? He said, that I don't know. I need to ask my sister now. So he's saying, okay, what is the offense? She's saying, no, just hang him. Then he says, at least give me one right here. At least let you hang me, no problem. I don't have any issue with that. But at least let me know what I have done here that you are hanging me for. I have done so much service for you in past. And you think I am not even good enough for knowing the reason of my death? He says, okay, no, now you need to tell. Tell what happened. Then he says, yesterday I went to his home. Then immediately Birbal said, was there any problem with the food? I call you to eat. Huh? You see, he's trying to teach the king here. So was there any problem with the food? No, food was perfect. No problem. Then what is the problem? Then he said, then the king is asking, did he physically do anything bad to you? He says, no, no, he is full of good qualities for that. He never did anything. So food is good. He never did anything bad. Why are you asking for this big punishment for him? He says, no, after the food, he spoke two words that were very rough. खाद्य खाद्य भवता पितु किम गच्छेत. खाओ ना खाओ तुम्हारा बाप का क्या जाता है. So whatever he has done by feeding me a food, he actually undid everything. He untied everything down by two speech that he spoke. So then the minister is saying, my dear king, for you, what is the value of the speech? I gave nice food, which you said is the best part in this world, and speech has no value, and I spoke only two words. I did 64 items of good food, and I spoke only two bad words. So compare the value of it. Then the king said, yes, Benji, I understood what he's trying to teach me. So the point here is the power of his speech. Whenever we deal with the Vaishnavas also, the Vaishnava aparadha is very subtle. Okay, sometimes we may feel like, I'm not saying anything bad. It was just, 1 minute I talked to certain devotees, so I have definitely not done something wrong. So for the tongue to make any mistake, it does not take more than 2 seconds. So therefore our acharyas here, they say that Bacho Vegam, first is controlling the speech. When we control our speech, and what is that we say with the speech, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Anudvaigya karambakyam satyam priyam hitam chayet swadhyayas bhasanam chaiva bangmayam tapavujjate. Anudvaigya. Speak the words that are pleasing to others. Okay? But this is not enough. Pleasing to others means anything may please you. Wrong thing may please you. So I speak wrong thing. He says, no. Anudvaigya karambakyam, it should be satyam. It should be absolutely truth. Don't speak anything but the truth. But present it in such a way that does not agitate a person. Anudvaigya karambakyam satyam priyam. It must be very dear to everyone. And hitam, it must benefit him. Swadhyayam. And gravity, maunata. Self-study of the scriptures. Based in the scriptures you speak. So therefore, Srila Prabhupada writes, if we want to engage anything or our tongue into anything, first thing is we engage the tongue in the description of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, glorification of the devotee, and chanting the holy name of the Lord. Otherwise, Shastra says don't use. Bacho vegam manaso kurda vegam. You have to also control the anger. The Shastra says that anger is very blind. Anger have no eyes to see. Okay? And anger is an object that emanates from the person who throws it. Okay? So anger, when you become angry with somebody, by the time you burn somebody, you are already burnt. Just like a fire. If you are angry with somebody and you want to hit somebody with a fire, and you are holding the fire in the hand, before even it gets to him, who did you burn? Yourself. So the Shastras say anger is something that always burns the person where it comes from. And where does the anger come? How does the anger arise? When you expect too much from the things that are very difficult to achieve. Too much expectation creates the anger. In a family life, husband is angry with the wife because he expected something she was unable to fulfill. Anger means expectations. I'm such a great devotee. I've been practicing Krishna consciousness from 20 years. This person is just a 1 year of devotee. He did not give me some respect. So expectation. I was expecting something from him. He could not give me. That generated the anger. So then second thing we need to learn is no expectation. and everything is fine. Just think whatever Krishna wants to offer me, it will come by its own accord. But expectation is going to create an anger. Jiva Vegam, the nature of the tongue is again being addressed here. Jiva Vegam, control the urges of tongue in the form of a taste now. Before was in the form of speech. Now in the form of a taste. Jiva Vegam. Now, according to Bhakti Vinod Thakur, how many of you know about Bhakti Vinod Thakur? Okay, Hare Krishna. So Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he is a very important figure to our mission. We know Lalita Devi has a Manjari servant. She is called a Manjari, and that Manjari is Rupa Goswami here. And helper of Rupa, that Manjari who assists Lalita Devi in serving Krishna, she also has a servant to help her out. So here that position is between Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Rupa Goswami. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is helper of Rupa Goswami. Okay. So we are Rupanugas. Well, my name is also Rupanugadas. So we are Rupanugas because we are the followers of Rupa Goswami. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur is directly the helper of Rupa Goswami, even in Krishna Lila. He says that two position of the mind is that Jivera Lalashe Hoye Iti Uti Joy. The position of the tongue is let me eat this, let me taste this, let me taste that. It is always looking for some different type of taste always. And this taste, it has been said that food makes the mood bad or good. The entire existence is based in the food we take. I was talking to one of the devotees in Bombay when he came to Phoenix. He says that when they were preaching in Bombay, prison house, they have found out that the prisoners, the groups of prisoners who are vegetarians are kept in one side, and groups of prisoners who are meat eaters are kept in other side. He says with the groups of meat eaters, there is always fight going on in the jail. But these vegetarian prisons are always very peaceful. So meat means you naturally develop an animalistic life. That it creates to be like animal, fight, destroy another living entity to make your survival. So therefore, first thing is the food that we attain. In Mahabharata it is explained that when Maharaj Yudhishthir was feeling very bad after the battle was over, he thought, just for sense gratification and just for kingdom, I am the cause of all this death here. Is it justified? Could I not just be a self-controlled, and I did not go after sense gratification? I just went to the forest and meditated on the Supreme Lord. If I did that, this we would not have seen today. So therefore he is feeling very bad of himself, of what is being caused here. So Lord Krishna is trying to explain to him that how Maharaj Yudhishthir did simply a service. One side he is trying to explain to him, other side as a Paramatma he is making Maharaj Yudhishthir not accepted. Because there he wanted to point out the greatness of Bhishmadev. Because up to now what people understand about Bhishmadev is Bhishmadev was a bad man because he stayed in the side of Duryodhana up to the end. Although he knew what is right and wrong. So people underestimate Bhishmadev. So at this point he wanted Maharaj Yudhishthir's doubt to be taken away by Bhishmadev himself. So therefore he was making Yudhishthir not understand what he is saying. Otherwise if Krishna wants to preach to somebody, who is a better preacher than himself? Anyone? But he was making, one side he is talking, other side as a Paramatma in the heart, he is making Yudhishthir Maharaj all confused also. The Lord does that sometime. So later on, he says, okay Yudhishthir, I am going to take you to the Bhishmadev, chalo. So there Bhishmadev begins to talk. He is talking to Maharaj Yudhishthir and talking to you about Raj Dharma and his own occupational duties. So at that time, Draupadi, he goes to next to Bhishmadev and says, Pitaji, you have no right to speak. Don't say anything, yeah. Kya hua? Bolta, a man who cannot protect an ordinary dharma of protecting a woman, how can you talk about such a great dharma now? Because recently the episode happened was that she prayed to Bhishmadev, please protect me. These Kauravas are mistreating me so much. Please give me the protection. He says, protecting a woman is a basic dharma. And now you are talking about such a great level of dharma. How can you talk about this now? You don't even know the basic dharma. So therefore at that time, Bhishma Dev takes an opportunity to explain why he took the side of Duryodhana. He says, my dear daughter, it was due to a anna dosh. He said two things that destroy us is because one reason is sanga dosh, wrong association we take, and second thing is anna dosh, the wrong food we eat. So therefore he says that was because of the anna dosh I had. I was eating a food that was corrupted by Duryodhana. And my body was built in his food. So after taking that corrupted food, I could not really think what was dharma and what was not dharma. But now, because of your husband Arjun, all the blood that was made out of Duryodhana's food is being flown like an ocean now. I have nothing of Duryodhana anymore. And I'm free from that anna dosh. So in this condition, I'm able to speak this Raj Dharma. So then Drupadi moved back, then Bhishmadev kept on speaking. So therefore, for us, the only way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, there are three most powerful weapons to fight Maya. Three powerful weapons to fight Maya. He says, Bhakta Pada Raj, Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhokta Vishishtayam, ye teen Mahabal. He says, the dust of the devotee's feet, one great weapon to fight after the illusion. He says the remnants of the food left by the great devotees. We are not talking about ordinary devotees here, We may be in ordinary level, but he teaches the respect of the gurus that we need to do. Then Bhakta Pada Raj, Bhakta Pada Jal, the water from washing the feet of the great devotees, and Bhakta Bhokta Vishishtayam ye teen Mahabal, and the remnants left from the devotees. He says these are the most powerful weapon that we can control our senses through. So first part he talks about the importance of controlling the senses, and second he talks about how we control them. What are the instruments that we have in order to control them? So therefore, we as a devotees, the first principle we are taught is we don't eat anything that Krishna does not accept. Sometimes people say, अरे कहाँ लिखा है मांस नहीं खानी चाहिए, कहाँ प्रमाण है इसकी, where is the proof that you should not eat meat, और उसके ऊपर भी ये ऑनियन और गार्लिक नहीं लेने चाहिए, इसका प्रमाण कहाँ है? They ask for this evidence. Where is the proof of all this? The point is, the proof is that Krishna does not accept any of this. This is the greatest proof. What does Krishna ask for? Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, Yomi Bhakta Prayashyati, Tadaham Bhakti Paritam Asnami Prayatatmanaha. Otherwise, he would have said, Matsya, Aja, Matsya means a fish, Aja means the goat. I accept fish, goat. He would have also asked for that. But he made it particular what I accept. And if Krishna does not accept, we as a follower of Krishna, do we accept it? Even out of affection and devotion to Krishna, we don't accept it. So therefore, first thing that we are taught is eat only Krishna Prasadam and have a proper timing. It is not, oh, everything is a Krishna Prasad, so whole day I keep on putting something in my mouth. No. Other principle Krishna spoke in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter was Yukta Hara Biharasya Yukta Cheshta Sakarmatu Yukta Sapna Babodasya Yoga Bhavati Dukha. Regulation. It says Yukta Ahara. Regulation in food. You regulate yourself. When you are going to eat. What you are going to eat. Yukta Hara Bihara. Recreation in regulation. Regulate your recreation. The devotees is not that we can't really recreate or we cannot really play for an exercise. But he doesn't say that. Regulation. Now even if you go for this type of thing, make sure you are only associated with the devotees. Now don't say in a temple, while chanting I need a devotee, but for playing I don't need no devotees. Our life must be molded around the devotee. We get stuck like a magnet. Like if you are moving the magnet on the top, the metal in the bottom automatically moves with the magnet, isn't it? So this is our devotional life. We move around, but always been circled by the devotees. So therefore Krishna talks about regulation. Now, even when it comes to taking the food and satisfying the tongue, It is said that only Krishna prasadam, something that is offered to Krishna, otherwise you will have annados. Even that regulation, if some devotees take, okay, 3 times a day, I will take 9 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and 7 o'clock in the evening, but a regulation has to be there. Not that whoever gives me, oh, Krishna prasad, okay, we're going to keep on putting. We don't go like that. It's a regulation. So the third thing is Bacho Vegam Manasa Kruda Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udaro Apastha Vegam. Now, if we have this regulation, if you don't have a regulation, then stomach is agitated. Shastra, stomach is agitated. Some people, as they start eating, the Shastra say when you have a first burp, that's the time you stop eating. But people do, okay, burping, put more. Now, I'm having difficult sitting down. I sit down in a different position, but keep on putting in the mouth. है ना? अब बैठ करके खा नहीं पा रहे, let me go to the table now, so I can put more inside. Now I'm so tired, it got up to here, I can't even walk, go to sleep there. And that's what the Shastra is saying, don't do it. Krishna is saying, if you are trying to be a yogi, this is no good. And we are all bhakti yogis also. The point is, in beginning, yes, the food is going to purify. But in a longer term, don't always think that you are going to keep on eating like this. At some point, it has to be regulated. But in beginning, if you have so much attachment for the food, then develop your attachment for Krishna food and keep on eating. But with this idea that even here, so Shastra explains, if you have so much attachment for the food, you eat the food, no problem. But like you are developing attachment to the food, develop an attachment to the chanting also. It's not only food that I like it, but chanting I don't. It's all angas of bhakti we catch equally. You understand? So this is a procedure. Bacho vegam manasa krodha vegam, jiva vegam. If we have regulation of food, the stomach is automatically controlled. Otherwise, stomach becomes agitated. Then the acharyas say, once the stomach is agitated, then the last part of the body also becomes agitated right away. Then you are going for the sense gratification after that. Overeating, oversleeping, over defending, and engaging in any activities that are over are not devotional. It's sense gratification. It's another feature of sense gratification. Just like way to justify it, Prabhu, how can you say I'm going for sense gratification? I put this prasadam right in the altar. So even the prasadam part, in a beginning, therefore, Prabhupada's system was Sunday program means lot of feast. So those devotees who enjoy eating prasadam, eat, but make sure you engage them in a proper service, they can digest quickly also. Otherwise, they will be agitated right away. So we take a lot of prasadam and we tell the devotees, okay, go and wash the pots. By the time you finish whole basement, almost prasadam is digested, you are looking for more food now. So we do a service along. It's all balanced up, we do it. Devotional service, eating prasadam, hearing Krishna Katha, chanting the holy name of the Lord. Okay. So therefore, the first verse of Nectar of Devotion speaks to help us out how we can become sadhus. Sadhu, in other words, means well behaved. That's what it means. How can we be well behaved? In order to do that, these 5 things are very crucial for us. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes, Prabhuji. What hours better to eat? Yes. In evening, yes, 2 hours before you go to sleep. Not a last minute you eat and go back to sleep. It says, eat controlled and give 2 hours to yourself. Yoga process talk about what are the position you can sleep on in order to have the proper digestion power also. Yoga talk about that. Okay, they say 2 hours before sleeping, and in afternoon time, if you are going to go for some type of a sports, it's not right after eating you go for the sports. You at least give yourself at least 1 hour of time. Otherwise, the food is start going to jump in your stomach inside. They will say Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, then you will have a stomach problem. So this is something practical. Well, in our Gurukul life, these are the things that we used to observe on. because I went through a ISKCON Gurukul system for 15 years. So we used to go for all recreation. We used to go for our taekwondo classes. Everything was there for us. But these are the things that we focused on: when and what time. Anything else? 6 hours is enough. No more than 6 hours. Taken? 6 hours. In other words, they say that if we can take prasadam, but if we have to go to nature's call more than once, if you just go for the nature's call once a day, you are a yogi. If you go twice, you are a bhogi. You ate too much. And if you go 3 times, you are rogi. So if you know that you are eating too much and you are having to go, means so you are being a rogi now, or you are becoming a bhogi. So these things, if we follow the proper principle given here, everything happens accurately. You are still doing, you are still doing something wrong. You still feel what's your, but you are totally Vaishnav food, you eat everything. That's the first principle. Onion and garlic makes us go to sleep. So if that's the thing, then huh? Okay, you only eat Krishna Prasadam. So why do you go to sleep? Maybe too much of Krishna Prasadam also? Because that may be another reason. If too much prasadam, as we said, that if the stomach is too much packed, then you have to give a rest to yourself. That is the case. So eventually, you are not doing anything wrong. How long you have been practicing Krishna consciousness for? No, then you have a time. If this continues after 5 years, then it can be addressed. But right now you are already chanting the holy name of the Lord and you are doing everything, and it is only sleep that is within you as a sense gratification. It takes more than that to be completely free from everything. So I don't see that as a problem, because way before you become a devotee, maybe you are involved more than that. So now everything is going away. Our certain habits are there not for 1 year, 2 years, since our birth, and some are since lifetimes also. So it takes time. It is working out. Okay, just like a rotation of the fan. Not that as soon as you put the plug of the phone, immediately the fan immediately stops. The momentum still goes on. Okay, it's just a habit that you might have, but since it is not so much time, it's not a problem. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Anything else, Prabhuji? Mhm. Well, what the devotees start doing is, instead of somebody else bringing a food and you are joining them, why don't you take the food and make people join you? One way is, you know that this group is good and it's a good groups of people that are here. So in that way, okay, so the question is that sometime when you go to the office, some of your colleagues bring some type of food from home that they invite you to come and eat. What should you do in that? Or there is get together, what should you do? So the point is, we as a devotees, what we do is, if those group like prasadam, we make prasadam from our home, we offer to Krishna and ask them to join us. And slowly it is not a problem, say, I'm actually a part of the devotional life. Many things I have avoided, but I don't want to avoid being with you. You are all very nice people. So therefore, I can cook and we can all eat together. So in that way, it does not offend them also. So I don't know if anybody else. Okay. The first point is, The question this time is not of the adults going to the office. This time is of the children that go to the school. So same question related. Okay, they are in that environment. Some are serving meat and some are serving a food of onion and garlic. The most religious people of India still eat food, made in onion and garlic. So we as a devotees, what do we do to our children? Now, this is not a new thing for us as a practicing devotees. I know many devotees in Phoenix, all devotees. What they do is, first of all, it is very important to convince your own child and train him up. Okay, he is not in between, that he does not know, he is confused because somebody in the school said something else, daddy in the home tells, no onion and garlic beta. So in one way, to give information, right information to the child, the teaching that he is on, because by the time they start going to school, you can definitely know about it. you know I can give one example of one of the friend I have, and he's in Nepal. We got into preaching, and this person is an engineer of airport. Because of his influence, once somebody went to his home and they took the biscuit and they gave to his 2 years old son. The son looks, he says, is there a bird inside? So he's asking, is there a bird inside? So he's confused, what bird inside? Because he could not understand chicken or anything like that. That was not a language for him. So he seemed, there is a little bird inside. So is there a bird inside? So he looked at it. He said, what type of training is this? Even a small child of 2 years old knows the distinction. So it's based on how the father can put a information. And first of all, we need to be ready for that. Okay. Now everyone that comes into the home and brings something, the child is asking same question. Is there a little bird inside? So they're saying, what is this bird? So by the time everyone is coming to the home, he's a professional job holder, the friends are coming to the home, and this information given to a child made every engineers of the airport vegetarian. Before, he used to tell me that in party it was so difficult for him. Right now the party is only vegetarian foods, nothing else. So one point is, first of all, how do you put a information on your child's head of what you are doing? Okay, you can't enforce a little child into anything that he does not know. So after that, the schools in America, they are very easy. If you tell them, it is part of my belief, it's part of my religion, that I don't eat this type of food. You know what, I would make a food and send with my child. So please, can you make sure he only eats that food? And if it is anything else, please call me to let me know whether he can eat it or not. So most of the devotees do that as far as the practical part is concerned. So does it answer your question? Yes, Prabhu. Mhm. 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 Yeah. The best thing is take an idea from the devotees who have kids and they are very serious devotees. And most of us, we are devotees, but we don't see too much seriousness on this, or we feel, oh, merely at the bottom, but it's for me is very important, but children not so important. We intend to cover up that way. But devotees who have been practicing devotion service for a long time, we don't want to purposefully, knowing after this, knowing the process of devotion service so well, and knowing that all these types of activities take you directly to the hellish planet, what father and mother wants their children to go to hell? Nobody. So understanding this in the mind, we'll give a importance to it also. So a best way to understand is just talk to the devotees, senior devotees who have children, who send the children to the school, and ask them, Prabhuji, how do you deal with this matter with your own child? I think that will also be a good way of doing it. Uh-huh. But why do you go there? Because in this young age, he won't be saying, Papa, I want to go to Indian restaurant. Maybe you have made a habit where he cannot forget the place now. The point is, no, that's one weakness that comes out. You might not eat it, and some devotees do that. I don't eat it, but I don't want my son to be weak from beginning. I want him to take certain types of food that makes him strong, that grows him. we get into those type of things sometime, and we don't take it, but we said, "Arey bachcha ko kya pata hai? Let him eat, but patni ko, you and me will not eat." Okay, after some time, it will be difficult to control them. No, no, no. There is no call karma. When is he going to stop that? Okay, you may take karma up to the time he's 5. Okay, Shastra say you can take up to the 5. Can you give a guarantee after 5 you will stop him? Okay, the Shastra say the children are like a Legos. Okay, they are like Lego, the game Lego. Okay, you can shape them anyhow. You understand? So in a younger days, it's very easy to mold the children. And once they become 5 and they have already developed a habit, they will say, "Daddy, you did not stop me 1 year ago. Why you stop me now?" They will not listen to you. So therefore, process of devotional service has to be injected right from beginning. You cannot plant a tree somewhere else. You can plant a small plants. So Prabhupada gives an example that older generations are like a big trees. It takes them long time to catch into devotional service. But a young generation, young kids, they will flow with wherever you go. Make a habit. Don't go anywhere where it is not going to be useful. Any big parties people call to, just try to avoid it. The best thing the devotees to it. Practical thing. Just avoid it. Whenever it comes to the question of a temple, make a point. Every Saturday, every Sunday, I am taking to the temple. Then he begins to associate with the boys who are brought up in this environment. Basically, say environment. What environment do you give them? Okay. In beginning, the parents lack that. They will say, "I will give a good discipline." But where is this discipline found? In the groups of devotees. And they avoid going to the groups of devotees. So every one of us who are connected to devotional life, every Sunday, why is the Sunday program arranged for? For us to be there. We must make a point. For Sunday, I'm already been invited. I have some other program. If somebody says, "Okay, come," Sunday, I'm already been invited to another program. I can't go. So in that way, at least once a week, I can regulate myself. I give myself a once a week of training. Once we stop going, maybe it is 1 week, maybe it is 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and after some time, it's out of sight, out of mind. We start misacting because we live in the world where there are more wrong things done than the right things. To learn wrong things, no school needed. Wrongs will be understood right away. They will do that. But for right things, such as these rules and regulations, that association of the devotee is very important. If you are failing to do this, means this is the only reason why the child is not being developed properly. So you go every Sunday, you go to the Sunday programs? No, no, no. That's okay. That's natural. That's natural. They fight. Some things are children's characters. Okay, they have to fight. They want to be like you, nicely in the class. There are some natures on them that will make them fight. They will disagree with anything. Okay, so that is not a problem. Kids, unless they are breaking each other's head, they are 18, 19 years old. When they fight, the whole roof is breaking down. Otherwise, don't you find that wherever there are kids, they fight? So I don't think that is too serious. What do you think, Prabhu? Maybe what are you doing to entertain them now in the classes? Maybe something is lacking there. Because we hold a Sunday programs. The Sunday, how many we have? 32 little kids we have. We have like a story classes and those type of things. Everything is done in the way that is digested by them, and try to bring those children into public. This is very important. The children want to do some type of a drama in front of the parents. If you don't give them opportunity, there is no deriving factor. How much are you presenting them in public? Every parents want to see their children in public. That makes the parents happy, and that makes the children happy because they want to do something in public. That will control them. You would say, "Oh, you are going in the mess of 80 people to do this." So something is going to make them train themselves. So these are the type of things that a temple has to think of, how to involve the children. Otherwise, they will fight. Either they are fighting in daddy's shoulder, or they are fighting with their brother, or they are fighting with a sister. Somewhere there is going to be a fight. So it's a technique that we as a leaders have to understand how to give them a right engagement. Children are like a fire. You understand? They are burning. They have a lot of energy. You don't take the fire and you cover it with a paper plate. It will burn the plate also. Okay, it's a proper utilization of the children that is very important. What should be done for the kids to connect them to Krishna? Well, what we do is we in our temple we arrange a program for the kids where we take them out. Okay, picnic. Take them into open areas where they can do a lot. You know, tell them about the different pastime how Krishna would play. Let them play with those games. The different types of games that Krishna would play. So more and more information we give, they can adopt those type of life. But activeness is the most important for the children. Make them active. Well, that's all I can say about children because that's the only thing that we do. And I don't have too much complaint in the temple in Phoenix saying that Prabhuji, these children are causing havoc because sometimes they are doing a dances. We put them in a public. Even little kids are acting like Radharani and others are acting like Krishna. So for them to follow what Radha looks and what Krishna looks, it's a long practice they need to become Radha and Krishna. So they try to follow that procedure. Anyway, and you can rest, you can ask your leaders in a local temple. They will tell you how to do it. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Uh-huh. Okay, he put it that way because Krishna might have missed it. Accepting, acknowledging the point, okay, just for the sake of argument, not otherwise. But Srimad Bhagavatam says, those people who have still attraction towards the flesh and life of others will never develop an unalloyed devotional unto the Supreme Personality of God. And this direct statement is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, okay, he forgot it there, but he's telling Krishna to Uddhava here in Srimad Bhagavatam. So here what Krishna says is same Krishna talking, but in a different context to Uddhava. So he missed to just follow this one here. It has been filled up there. But the point is, when he talks about the godly qualities, he talks ahimsa, satyama, krodha, styaga, shanti, rupaisanam, daya, bhute, salaluptam, mardabam, virajaphalam. The violent or ahimsa is right there mentioned. And every people understand, every Indians or even any Westerners, when we say non-violence, applies to not killing. Okay, if you don't kill, how can you eat? भागते हुए मुर्गा को तो कोई नहीं पकड़ता है ना. You need to kill in order to eat. So Krishna is talking about ahimsa here. So it makes a direct. What does ahimsa mean? Ask him. There are statements when he talks about the godly qualities. He talks about that in 16th chapter. Okay, Hare Krishna. Anything else, or we stop here now? We must give time to everything. That's one thing that we have to do. We have to be sincere as a parents. We should follow very seriously. Sometime we try to just justify for the case of justification. We're trying to find a loophole somewhere. Okay. Somebody will say, I was really thinking not to eat meat, but my son could not live. And one day he told me, Daddy, if you are not going to eat, I'm not eating. So I started eating. Sometimes people just make a lousy. I have seen those type of people. I'm just doing in order to make my son happy. If we are serious about it, first of all, we need to understand with a knowledge of what we are doing. The Shastras say that knowledge is actually a backbone to a body. We may become a devotees, but we don't give too much time in studying the scriptures. That's what will happen. We are following certain, all these rules and regulations we knew right from India. You understand? Only the lacking part was we never had a knowledge about it. The Shastra say knowledge is like a backbone. You have a beautiful body, everything is fine. India's whole culture is good. But without a knowledge, slowly everything is going to be lost. Just like the example is given, a backbone, if there is weakness in a backbone, doesn't matter how wonderful your body looks. One day you are going to collapse. So therefore, we may chant everything else, but apart from that, we try to acquire a knowledge in order to make our devotion strong also. So reading these books, Prabhupada, the explanation he gives about many things, talking to the devotees, this type of things makes us very strong, and we will have information to explain to our children. If you can explain everything else, if the child is saying, Daddy, I want this tablet, you have a power to say this is not good for you. Yeah, because you have a complete knowledge about it. You will say, no, this will do this harm to you, this will do this to you, this will do this to you. So you always avoid giving him such type of things. One mistake can there be in our side is because we are not having enough knowledge to explain things. Because I do a counseling these days with the adults now. And one of the person that I'm dealing with right now, he says, the biggest problem with my parents is they are in ignorance. They are very good character parents. But the point is they can't answer anything that I ask them. They always have to say, go to Prabhuji in temple. Go to Prabhuji in temple. You understand? He is ready to listen. He listens. He comes to the temple, he listens very well. Then I tell him, ask your parents then. You might not be able to come to me all the time, ask your parents. He says, that's the problem with my parents. They don't know any information from the scriptures. And one thing that we must know as a parents, we must do our own homework well before we start marking the homework of the children. Let's read the books properly. Let's chant properly. Make a habit. We see our Krishna conscious children right after they become 1 year old, because they are saying, their daddy lying in front of Prabhupada every single day when he goes to the temple. Immediately the child goes before even the daddy, he lies down there. It's good imitation, isn't it? In India, there is saying, when a little sister sees a big sister making a makeup, she does not go for the makeup. She picks up a pen from the ground and she tries to copy the bigger sister. It make an eyebrow. It's a pen only. It's nothing else. But the bigger sister is using the actual instrument there. So slowly she copies. And one day she becomes a good dresser like her sister simply by copying her. So Lord Krishna is saying, Yadada charati shrestha tatadevi tarojana. Whatever action great man does, a common man follows. So whatever standard is being set by the parents, the children will automatically go for that. Who is the best role model for the children? Who do they see all the time? It's parents. Like Prabhuji is talking about the role model. We are imagining about the role model. Here the parents are role model regularly. The best teachers are the parents. Regularly getting up in time, chanting our rounds in time. The son sees the disciplined nature of the parents also. He knows my father is in the temple, I cannot go inside crying. Okay, because it's a rule of the house. No problem, no problem. Yes, we don't want to be late also. So Prabhuji's question is, Prasadam also. So you are saying what is a chanting? So the first thing, you can go for prasadam. You didn't have to sit down. Take prasadam, sit down. First thing, the Shastras explain. We are always chanting. Either we are chanting the material name or we are chanting the spiritual. We are always saying something about. Okay, name means uttering something constantly or calling out something that is very dear to you. Now, as we were just talking about, the position of the tongue is always uttering something, always saying something. Now, according to the Puranas, they say that in this Kali Yuga, there is more emphasis given to the holy name of the Lord. Just like based on what type of a disease you have, the degrees of medicine start changing. Okay, if your disease is very intense, then you get an intense medicine. You go through intensive care. Now, in other yugas, Kirtaya Dhayato Vishnu, in a first yuga was meditation onto Lord Vishnu. Kirtayam Yajatomake, in second Treta Yuga, was Yajato, by performing sacrifice, that you attain salvation. So in first age you had 100,000 years of Ayu. If you can use 50,000 in meditation, your life is perfect. In second Yuga, it was 50,000 years of Ayu, and of that, if you can use 25,000 years into the process of Yajato, you are perfect. Kirtaya Jayato Vishnum Kirtayam Yajatomake. Then Dwapare Paricharyayam. Now in Dwapar Yuga, if you can spend about 12,000 years in worshipping the deities, your life is perfect. But in Kali Yuga, the process is little bit changed now. In Kali Yuga, the diseases are intense. Narad Muni explains the intensity of the disease in Kali Yuga. He says, Manda Sumanda Matayu Manda Bhagya Upadritaha. He says, in people in Kali Yuga are Manda, very slow people, Sumanda, very stupid people. The quality of the people in Satya Yuga are they are Shruti Dharas. They can hear one thing one time and they will keep everything forever. Okay. In Kali Yuga, people are Dui Dharas. From here in, from here out. So therefore we need calculator, computer, in case something goes from other side, before I lose it, type it down. So this simply proves the qualities of people in Kali Yuga. They need a help of an object in order to get some work done. So therefore Narad Muni says, Manda Sumando Matayo. And slow people, the stupid people, and the people who are so mad after sense gratification that they don't even have a proper senses to enjoy sense gratification, but they are still mad after it. Manda Sumanda Matayo and Manda Bhagya, and they are very unfortunate people. कोई भाग्य ही नहीं है इनके पास में. Comparing to other ages. Okay, in Ram's age we know, Ramayana explains that there was an old man who had his son who died before him. Then he went to Lord Ram and complained, saying that, look, I'm still living, my son died before me. And this is not a rule. First come, first serve. So what happened, Ramji? The Ramji said, oh, one Sudra is meditating into the forest, and result of that, this topsy-turvy is going upside down. Just one case. Okay. In Kali Yuga, when the death comes, what a topsy-turvy. So therefore, people are so unfortunate. Wrong things are always coming up to these people. Manda Sumando Matayo Manda Bhagya Upadritaha. And they are very mischievous. They have all these 4 good qualities here. But top of that, they think they have everything. Being Shunya with everything, they have everything. So therefore, he says, to deliver this type of people, such unfortunate people, you need a very strong weapon now. This yajna is not going to work anymore. The tapasya is not working anymore. The deity worship is also not working anymore. Because the disease is so much, it's just that the cancer has attacked the body so much, it has to be an intense dealing. So therefore the Shastras say, please give us that process now. What is this process? Then it is explained, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatara Nama Hoite Hoye Shaba Jagata Nisara Nama Bina Kai Kale Nai Ara Dharma Sarva Mantra Sarva Nama Ye Shastra Marma. Kali Kale Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. In Kali Yuga, Krishna has actually come as the holy name. Non-different from God himself, okay? Before it was the process that differs from God himself. The process means avidya jnana. The process that leads to God. But now Kali Yuga, it is not a process anymore. It is God himself. Then Sarva mantra sarva nama ya shastra marma. This is the evidence of every scriptures that there is no other way than the holy name of the Lord. First statement made. Okay. Then in a second verse it is says that namno hi yavate shakti papa nira rane hare tavat api nashakmiti patakampa agamna raha. He says the sin that can be finished by one holy name of the Lord, the amount of sin that can be destroyed by one holy name of the Lord. You may do the most heinous sins in your life for one lifetime. Provided that you do so much sin, you don't even have an ability to commit so much sin that one name of the Lord cannot destroy it. The Shastras say that one name of the Lord has such a power. Okay, and that's what you need as a weapon. Now, other side, there is bhinattam nama namino. Just like there is difference between you and your name. Isn't it? Name belongs to you. But in absolute sense, the Shastras say there is no difference between God and God's name. You understand? If you like Coca-Cola and every day you go Coca-Cola, 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 the desire to drink a Coca-Cola will increase, but it will not decrease. You understand? But the Shastras say, if you have an intense desire to love God, Krishna, if you are missing Krishna and you want to be with Krishna, you can chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and your desire to be with Krishna will be fulfilled. You understand? So therefore, the Shastras say, why chanting the name of the Lord? Because the name is nothing different from Krishna himself. Ram se bada Ram ka naam. Hai ki nahi? Yes? So in Ramayana, you hear the story. Lord Ram, he is astonished to see that Nala and Nila, they are throwing the stones and they are floating there. The Ramji is saying, kya kamal hai ye? What is happening here? He said, can you give me one rock also? I want to throw in the water. So Ram comes and takes one rock and throw in the water. The rock drowned it. Then he told Hanuman, what happened here? Those rocks are floating. This is drowning. He says that if anybody is rejected by somebody else, you can deliver them. But if somebody is rejected by you, then who can deliver you? It's your holy name that delivered it. But in this stone, no holy name was written. So therefore it could not float. Again, from that past time, the greatness of the name is being explained. First thing, that's the first point. Second thing is, because of the nature of people that are in Kali Yuga, we don't like to do any tapasyas. For deity worship, we have to take bath 6 times a day. How many of us take bath 6 times a day here? No. For tapasya, you have to reject every level of sense gratification, go for 25 years, 25,000 years of meditation. How many of us are ready to do that? Not. So basically, we want a best result without spending any money. The market is crashing all the time. We see this success all over the place. And we say, I don't want to waste any money, but I want to make a best profit. What is the way? Then the Shastras say, okay, no rule, no regulation, no requirement, nothing, but only result is Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. To chant, you can chant in the toilet, nothing else is required. You don't need to even take bath in the morning. You can simply chant. So big result, but no commitment. So therefore, that befits people who are lazy like us. Okay. So therefore, the Shastras give the holy name as a solution. Does it answer your question? No, Krishna talks about that. He said distraction is there because of being distracted. Just like certain things are habit. You understand? Certain things are habit. We get distracted. But Krishna is saying, Nigram manne bayurapi chadushkaram. The position of the mind is like a blowing wind. You understand? And bayurapi chadushkaram, you may control the bayu from blowing, but you cannot control the mind, Krishna is saying. Therefore he says, again and again practice. Practice to bring the mind back. Bring it and give some type of engagement to the mind also. Now what is the position of the mind? Sankalpa and Vikalpa. Accepting and rejecting. That's what the mind does all the time. Either accept something or rejecting something, but never keeps anything. Though it may be a new car or a new house, always changing. This is called a Sankalpa and Vikalpa. But the fact is, it will keep the most attractive things for a longer period of time. You understand? So the most attractive thing, the Shastra says, devotional service. The point is, because he has not developed a taste for devotional service, therefore he is not accepting it. Okay. Just like a jaundice. If you have a jaundice, how much you like the sweets in beginning? Nothing. So, but despite of not liking it, if you make a habit of taking a sweets, one day jaundice will go away and you like the sweet. So the Shastras say, because of our Purva Sukriti, what we have done, we may be distracted from chanting of the holy name of the Lord. But that is the only medicine. There is no other medicine to cure, just like candy is a cure to a jaundice. In beginning it may taste better. Yatad agre bishamiva parinami mirtopaman. Tatsukha satyakam proktam atmabuddhi prasadajam. Krishna is saying, Yatad agre bishamiva. Something that is like a poison in beginning. And it will end up being a nectar at the end. And he says, Tatsukha satyakam proktam. That happiness is in mode of goodness. And atmabuddhi prasadajam, it will give satisfaction at the last. So in beginning we may feel as a poison, as we are talking about it here, but make a habit, just like a jaundice person must take a sweets, and after some time that sweet will start tasting sweet, and you will reject everything to take the sweet now. Like you see the devotees around, isn't it? As the time goes, they are becoming more and more superior, more and more senior. They are developing their taste more and more towards. You just look at the practicality of the devotees. You don't see a devotee after practicing Krishna consciousness for 10 years, he fell away from devotional path. You don't see that. They are more and more attached to it. Their character is being changed more and more. This is the quality of the holy name. Okay. Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks of this as cleansing the heart that we have. Cheto darpana maharjanam bhavamaham. Just like if you make a habit of cleaning your oven every day after cooking, you don't have to make any struggle any day. We just spend 2 minutes, whole oven is gone. Every day is clean. But if you have not cleaned for 6 years and all of a sudden you thought I will clean my oven, how easy is it for you to clean? You will be hopeless. You will say, Mera oven kabhi bhi, my oven will never be clean, I better buy the new one now. But that's not a fact. It is just you neglected for such a long time and it is getting difficult. So Shastras say we have neglected the process of devotional service and Krishna for so many lifetime, and all of a sudden we have decided that again I am going to start serving Krishna. But because the thickness of dirt is so much in our heart that we are not relishing anything about it. But what does it mean? Use a stronger soap. Make sure you chant it properly. Don't do Nama Aprad. Avoid the Vaishnava Aprad. Okay, be more careful now. Means use a stronger liquid. You understand what I'm saying? So more Nama Aprad is meaning offensive towards the holy name, either being disattentive, okay, chanting improperly. Just like, instead of chanting clearly, you just go Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and go to sleep after one round. Not being too attentive to holy name. Okay, not chanting properly. Committed, and more than that is a Vaishnava Aprad. Whatever you do, don't ever say anything about the devotees. He says, the aprad or offense done towards the name can be purified by the name itself. But if you commit a mistake towards the Vaishnavas, that can never be purified. So therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that this offense of criticism is like a mad elephant. And chanting of the holy name is like a creeper. If you allow a mad elephant to enter the garden of a creeper, the mad elephant is going to destroy everything. So therefore, the seed of devotion is put on, it is already within you. Even if you cannot make it grow too quickly, but make sure you give it enough protection, it does not die. Keep on being with the devotee. Go into the group of devotee. Protect yourself by the association of the devotees. Serve the devotees. Serve the temple. Look at opportunity for service. In that way, the plant will always be there. So when the proper environment is given to the plant, then it will automatically come up and you will be very happy about it. Oh, I got it now. My tree is very big now. Okay? Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes. The origin of thought. Mind accepts something which mind thinks it's good for sense gratification. The origin of thought is avidya. Ignorant. Okay? Ignorant. The first is ignorant. Ignorant ignorant is coming from the misidentification of the soul itself. The soul. The soul itself. Soul forgetting a fact that he is a servant of Krishna. Okay, thinking I'm something else from being the servant of Krishna. Then he starts acting like something else apart from God, Krishna. Okay, if we don't accept Krishna as a bhokta, then we have to start accepting ourselves as an enjoyer. Now we need to find a space to enjoy. You understand? So in that world, by the help of the mind and the senses, we start exploiting things for our sense pleasure. Okay, during that we commit a mistake. We make a mistake. So mistake causes a reaction, which causes us either future suffering or the present suffering that we go through. So first is misidentification that comes from. Therefore, Krishna always talks. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, our position is Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishna Raditya Das. First principle, understand that you are the servant of Krishna. Don't forget the fact. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mamivamsha Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatam. Eternally, you are my fragmental part. And due to conditioned life, you are being diverted from it. Always understanding this fact. I am the servant of Krishna. I am the mother. When you understand you are the mother, you actually do your duty towards your child. When you know you are the servant of Krishna, you act as a servant. If you don't know, then you start acting as a master. And this little master makes big mistake. Okay. Anything else? Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.